Hey everybody, hope and pray that you're doing well today. So we come to our word from the word. And today that word is shoot. Shoot. Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, wasn't any guns there? No, but here at this time, right? Arrows, bow and arrows, shooting arrows. But that's even not what he's talking about, what the psalmist is talking about today. In Psalm 64, you will see that David is talking about those who really kind of a phrase we would use today, people that shoot off at the mouth, right? That they say painful and hurtful words, or sometimes we'll say they just continue to talk more than they ought to, saying more than they ought to in a negative light. And that's really what David is focused on. He says, look, the enemy, right? These schemers, and he's comparing it to arrows. That he's saying, look, their words, they start putting them together and even sharpening them to where they're causing pain. The old song and saying, right? Or that your sticks and bones may break my bones, but your words will never hurt me. And that is a lie from the pit of hell. Of course, we know that words hurt, and they do a lot of damage. And a lot of times we would do better to heal from a broken bone than we will heal from hurtful words. But here, David takes refuge in the fact that he doesn't have to worry about the arrows that's coming towards him. What he's thinking about and what he's focused on are the arrows that are coming from the Lord, the ones that God will shoot on his behalf. So from Psalm 64, look at verses 7 through 10 today. And he says, but God shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly they shall be wounded. So he will make them stumble over their own tongue. All who see them shall flee away. All men shall fear, and shall declare the work of God. For they shall wisely consider his doing. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord and trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. It's a lot of things I like about this passage, but one of them in particular is the fact that he's going to use the enemy's words against them, even make them trip up over their own words. And you think about today and the way that there is an attack on believers. There's an attack on God's children. There's an attack on any who will claim to have faith and walk by faith in Jesus Christ. There's an attack, and you say, okay, well, here, at least in our nation, for the moment, you say, okay, well, it's not too physical. But the words are there. The words that do damage are there. But see, we have to be careful to understand that those words aren't coming against us. Those words, if we are living according to God's word, then those words are coming against God. And he can handle it. No other reason for us to hear that than to think that's why he is our shield. That's why we can be under the protection of him. But you also think about how we are to put on the full armor of God, right? To shield ourselves from the flaming arrows, from those words that, really just come in white hot and they hurt. And sometimes they come out of nowhere. You don't even see them coming. You don't even realize that the enemy has even put that arrow on his bow yet. And you've already been hit. But what he says is God's going to shoot arrows at them. And I will tell you what, God doesn't miss. When he shoots, he hits right what he's aiming for. And immediately they're going to feel the pain and the wrath of God. But if everybody else is going to see it and know, did you catch what he said? Everybody's going to understand. Everybody's going to fear God. And even if there's times where people are going to pay for their words that they have said against God's people, then even if we don't see it happen in our lifetime, then we know the end of the book, and we know that eventually God is going to shoot his arrow. It's going to be poured out in judgment on all who would turn against God, all who would just stick up their nose at God, all those who would rebel against God, all those who would reject God and reject Jesus Christ. He's going to shoot his arrow, and he's not going to miss. So the thing with that is, you also have to understand is that means I don't have to pick up my bow. I don't have to pick up an arrow. All I need to do is trust in him. We just talked about being still in God, being still in the Lord. Today, be still knowing that the Lord's going to fight your battle for you. Today, have trust and faith in that. God bless you. And I pray you have a great, great day.